Top 10 things that piss me off. Number 9 is people setting their horse up for failure, not success. Okay? And then wondering why it goes to shit, the horse bucks him off, the horse gets into a wreck, the horse loses his confidence, and it ruins it. Okay? And I'll tell you a story now where I screwed this up myself. So I'll use myself as an example where I did the wrong thing. And I knew I did the wrong thing as soon as it happened, but I'll admit this to you, okay? This is what I'm talking about. So 10 years ago, or maybe more than that now, 15, we did that whole series on Tricky Warrior. He was a 3-year-old thoroughbred we took off the track, okay? And I retrained him with the method. We did a big giveaway. We gave the horse away at the end of the training series, and we filmed it. It's all on YouTube. You can watch it for free. And this horse is about halfway through his training. So he's on the track. All he knows how to do is gallop and pull the bit out of your hands. That's all he knows how to do, gallop and pull on the bridle, okay? So I'm halfway through retraining this thing. He's probably got, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks maybe at best training on him, okay? He's coming along well, but I'm still got a lot of racehorse in him that I'm trying to get rid of every day. Still, trying to get him to chill, lope slow, lope relax, not pull on the bit, etc. But he's coming along, but it's a process, okay? When you take those thoroughbreds off the track, they're a lot of work. Just don't underestimate how much work they are because of how much bad habits they typically come off the track, okay? So at the time, we had a clinic at the ranch, and I can't remember how I got talked into this or why I did it, but the entire clinic wanted to go on a trail ride around my whole facility in Stephenville. It was a 250-acre ranch, and we had all these trails and paths cut and creeks and all this shit, and everybody comes down to the arena. I'm riding this horse, and they said, "Hey, Clinton, come with us. We want you to give us a tour of the ranch and go on a trail ride." And I said, "No, I don't have time. I'm on this horse." "Oh, come on." And I caved, and I shouldn't. So this is my accountability. I got to take full responsibility. So I let him talk me into it, okay? So I take this horse, Tricky Warrior, out of the arena, where I've had him for 3-4 weeks now, and he's doing pretty good. I'm just starting to build his confidence. He's starting to lope slow. He's starting to just realize he hasn't got to go fast on a loose rein, etc., okay? So now I take him out the gate, and I take him to a complete different environment. Remember, every time you change environments, you change horses, usually for the worse. So I went from an arena, controlled environment, to outside the arena, okay? Not only that, I did it with 30 other horses. So I take him outside with 30 other horses in a big group, and he kind of starts to lose his marbles. Like he's back in track mode. He's back in prancing, snorting. He sees all these horses. You remember what all racehorses do? They get in a group and they gallop. So his mind already flashes back to being an ex-racehorse again. He's in a group. Everybody's going the same direction. He's like, "Clinton, we got to win this race." So he starts to get all hot on me, starts jigging and tossing his head and trying to, run, because his racehorse days are coming back to haunt him again. So I'm doing circles with him, and I'm doing serpentines, and I'm trying to redirect him to go from the reactive side of his brain to the thinking side. And we go around this ranch, and we're probably out there for an hour and a half. And finally, towards the end of the ride, I get him a little better, but not a lot, okay? And I'm pissed off at myself because I put the horse in a bad situation. It wasn't his fault. I basically threw him in the deep end, and then he failed. And I knew why he failed, because I didn't teach him how to swim. It's like throwing your kid in the deep end of the swimming pool. He drowns, and then you look at your wife and say, "That son of a bitch just drowned. Fuck that, eh? Did you know that?" Like, no shit, Sherlock. He doesn't know how to swim. Why don't we put him in the shallow end and teach this kid how to swim? Well, that's kind of what I did to Tricky Warriors. I threw him in the deep end. So the next day, I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to, go back to the arena, start training him again. I mean, I lost 2.5 weeks of training. He went back to being hot in the arena. It stirred him all up again, etc. So I had to go backtrack 2.5 weeks of training, because I basically caused him to lose his confidence in me as a leader and lose his confidence in himself to be able to travel on a loose rein, okay? I eventually got the horse really well trained, and he did great and went on and did some stuff and went on to be a 3-day eventing horse, and she did mounting shooting on him, all kinds of shit, okay? It turned out great. But I set that horse up for failure, okay? I don't like people doing that. And I admitted that story. I knew better. That's why I was really pissed off at myself. I knew better than to do what I did, and I let other people kind of talk me into it, and that's not an excuse. It's my fault that this happened. But I was really mad at myself that night, and I was pissed off at me, not the horse. He did nothing wrong. He did what his humans told him to do. He just did exactly what 2 years on the track did, which is gallop in a straight line, gallop in a straight line. So what I should have done is got him really good in the arena. After 7, 8 weeks, when he's really good in the arena, I should have taken him on a trail by myself and got him really good outside, walk, trot, canter, loose rein, get him real broke outside by myself. When I got that really good, then introduce a second horse outside on the trail. After 2 or 3 weeks, when he's really good with 2 horses, add a third one, get him real broke. When he's real good with that, add a fourth one. And then maybe over a couple of months, now we can have 30 horses go out with him on the trail, and he's going to walk on a loose rein, trot on a loose rein, lope on a loose rein. He's not going to lose his shit. Okay? So I had to start at the shallow end and slowly walk him and his confidence down to the deep end. And he would have been fine, and did get fine about it all. But I went from the shallow end, threw him in the deep end, he fell apart, and I felt terrible that I'd ruined his confidence because through no fault of his own, it was my fault. So if I can accept that I screw up from time to time in training a horse and skip some steps or don't do what I even preach, can't you? Can't we all have a little humility and say, hey, sometimes we fuck up, let's go back and fix it. Let's go back and not make that mistake again. So I do not like people that set their horse up for failure and then blame their horse for everything he does wrong. The only difference in this story is I never blamed Tricky Warrior for everything he did. I blamed myself. I set him up for failure. I took that responsibility right on the chin because it was with me. Most people won't do that. They'll blame their horse for every shitty thing it does, but they'll take zero accountability of with the position they put their horse in or the lack of preparation to put their horse in that situation, and they'll just blame the horse. That's a big pet peeve of mine.